that's one of the things I absolutely love about the city and about the country anyways. This amazing relationship that women have with their bodies and with aging.
Yeah. Welcome to One Day in Vienna. Our guests today, Diana Robleto.
Name: Diana Robleto. Geburtsland: USA. Ankunft in Wien. 2004. Familienstand: alleinstehend, 2 Kinder. Beruf: diplomatischer Attaché.
I'm your host, Lauren Lerve, and welcome to this podcast where we're going to be uncovering those memorable anecdotes about this magical city that, let's face it, we all love and hate in moments. The expats featured on this show will be enlightening us as to how they navigated becoming a local in Vienna, often with a splattering of hilarious culture clashes to boot. Hello and welcome, Diana Robleto, dear friend of mine for 15 years,
That's
I think.
right.
And we are sitting in the beautiful but very, very chilly Burggarten this morning at 8:30 in the morning. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
What is a gorgeous Nicaraguan Californian woman doing in Vienna? What brought you here?
Oh, what brought me here? I've heard this question many times. Let me see. Okay, I think it's a mix of love and curiosity.
Okay.
I'd been to Vienna in 2001. I had been dating an Austrian. We had met in LA. And he thought one year, let's go to Vienna. I want to show you where I'm from. And we came. We had an amazing time, as you do when you visit, because people show you the best of the best, right? It was summer. The cafes were open. People were spilling out on the streets. The parks were full.
People were open.
People were open. And we'll talk about that. You know, wink, wink. But it was just the best vibe. And I carried that energy with me back to LA. And that there was like a little, that sort of just sat with me for a while. I had lived in Paris before, so I knew this way of work-life balance that I absolutely did not have in LA. I was working like a dog, eating my lunch in front of my computer, working on weekends, taking my laptop with me to on holiday. There was no work-life balance, right? So I craved that. And it became apparent after a couple of years of living together that we wanted to start a family, that we would potentially get married. And I thought, if I'm going to do this, I need to learn German. And I cannot do this in LA. I cannot learn from this man. It's impossible. So why don't we move to Vienna? And why don't I immerse myself a little bit more and also feel this work-life balance a little bit
So actually
closer.
It was more you that pushed the move to Vienna.
100%.
I never knew that.
Absolutely. He did not want to leave. So I had to convince him. And I had to say, okay, we're just going to do this for 2 years and come back. You have to remember, he had a great job. He's an architect. He was working in a nice firm. I had a pretty good job at a public radio station. And we had great friends. We lived in the Hollywood Hills. We threw parties. We were young. We had no children. We were living the life, but I wanted more. I wanted this life, right? I wanted to experience it. And I honestly thought 2 years and then we'll come back. Wrong. Like everyone else.
Thank goodness
right?
for me. And many of our other friends in Vienna, you stayed.
Yes, it got under my skin.
As you know, we ask the expats that we interview about one day in Vienna. Could you talk us through your very special day in Vienna, or a day that seemed very special for you? Because I'm sure you've had a lot.
I've had a lot. Let me preface this one day. When I first arrived in Vienna to live, it was summer. It was hot and humid. Okay, so the parks were jam-packed with people. And people were having picnics, just enjoying themselves. And I remember taking a walk along the ring with Kurt and his friend casually mentioning that this was his favorite season in Vienna because he called it the braless season. It's a season where it's too hot to wear bras. And therefore, you can see, you can enjoy Vienna a little bit more. It was like, taken aback a little bit by that, right?
Culture clash. We don't really say things like that in America and England.
So we go to the park. We came exactly here, to this park, Burggarten.
Der Burggarten ist ein öffentlicher Park, der zwischen der Wiener Hofburg und dem Albertiner Museum liegt. Ursprünglich war der Burggarten der private Garten der Kaiserfamilie. Das Palmenhaus, welches direkt im Burggarten gelegen ist, gilt als eines der schönsten Jugendstilgebäude der Stadt. Ein Teil wird als botanischer Garten betrieben, der exotischen Pflanzen und tausenden Schmetterlingen eine Heimat bietet. Der zweite Teil wird als Café und als Veranstaltungsort für Konzerte, Ausstellungen und andere kulturelle Veranstaltungen genutzt.
Right behind me is a little meadow, okay, facing the Palmenhaus. And it was full of people. And I scanned the meadow and I'm seeing children. I see, couples. I see a topless woman in the middle of it all, just basking in the sun. Her beautiful young breast facing the sky, taking it all in. And that was a shock for me because no one was staring at her. She was doing her own thing. She was, for me, the epitome of freedom, safety, that you could be a young, beautiful woman and just enjoy
the sun on your skin.
Sun and your skin without anyone bothering you. For me, that was so impressive. First of all, shocking, but then impressive, right? So I talked about this with my husband and he said, "Oh, you're such a prude, Diana. You're such a prude. Look at you. That's the American in you, right?" That's stayed with me. And I thought, I'm never going to be that person. I just couldn't do it. There's just no way. At the same time, I had joined a gym and it was very close to my home, a very small little gym. And they had a sauna and I would go, twice a week and, do some classes. And I knew there was a sauna, but again, sauna, it's just not what we do in the States. It's a very foreign concept. It really, really is. So I told my husband about, the sauna, how I'd spotted it. And he said, "Oh, just get in there. It's so good. You need to do this. Like after you work out, you go to the sauna." And I said, "Well, I have to be naked, right?" And he goes, "Of course, Diana, you bring in a towel, just, you're making a big deal about it. Just do it." And I was just like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it. One day, it was a quiet day at the sauna and no one was there. And I was very curious. So I thought, I think this is my chance. So I take my little towel, I open the little door and I had it all to myself, which is nice. And I just felt like a little kid. And I took my towel off and I sat there and I thought, okay, I guess this is what you do. You just sit here and you sweat. So I felt my pores opening up. I started to relax. I expanded. I actually lied on my back. And, I just saw like the beads of sweat accumulate. And I thought, this is actually so nice. Then I hear voices on the other side of the door. Not 2, not 3, not 4, but many voices, low voices, young voices, and they're getting close to the door. And I don't have any time to react. The door opens and in walk a team of beautiful, young, I think they were part of a soccer team. I am not sure. Rugby, I have no idea. Very well built, very athletic. Of course, it was foggy inside or steamy inside, so I couldn't see that
Who's
much.
looking at who here?
I know, but I was, I kept my eyes down. I tried to be respectful, but I was coming out of my skin. I was so embarrassed,
It's against everything we're raised with that you would be in a very small, confined space with other people in the nude. It's alien to my entire upbringing.
Absolutely. This is
and
not what you do.
Especially.
You show your bits to your husband.
Right.
Your parents have seen your bits. But strangers, And so
when you run between places, you hide your bits as much as you can,
Yeah, so
that's like what we're taught.
Absolutely. So I tried to make myself as tiny as possible. And they walked in and they said, "Grüß Gott, grüß Gott, grüß Gott, hello, grüß Gott," which is also hilarious. Greetings to God, young naked lady, greetings to God. I'm just like, hello, hello, hello. And they're sitting all around me and I'm frozen stiff. I'm looking down. I see legs. I see buttocks. I see
sweaty
shoulders.
buttocks.
And they're chatting with each other. It's like I don't even exist. It's all in my head. But I need to make a mad dash. And I know that means that I'm going to show my backside, but I do it. And if you're Austrian, you're listening to me probably and thinking, oh, what is wrong with this girl? But it was a huge deal for me.
Yeah.
I ran out, I made it, and I showered, and I just started laughing. I couldn't believe my luck because it was actually a lucky experience. But that led to other experiences too. Like in the winter, we went skiing and I witnessed 3 generations of a family going into the sauna. And I thought that was the most beautiful thing in the world.
It's just a different vibe. So I have to say at the beginning, the FKK, so free body culture, as it's known here, was very shocking for me. Now I think it's enlightened. I have to say, although I'm not always comfortable with it, I think it's a very lovely thing when people can just be so comfortable that they are just having a nice chat. And, you know, it was a very progressive thing to do at the time. It's second nature for me now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't partake, but I feel more comfortable now than I ever did with other people.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially at Obela. It's always the woman who looks like the Venus of Villersdorf that is like the proudest and the most comfortable.
Right.
And you know what? I've been sitting with people in the sauna or in the Obela, and my female friends who are stunning and all toned and everything are so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And this woman it owns her age and her beautiful body in the way that it should be honored. I think it's enlightened. Really.
You know what? That almost makes me teary-eyed. This is coming from Hollywood, where beauty is shunned. I mean, not shunned. Aging is shunned, right? It's not natural to age. People are trying so hard to hold on to their youth. That's one of the things I absolutely love about the city and about the country anyways. This amazing relationship that women have with their bodies and with aging.
Yeah.
I don't think maybe I've seen it in other countries, but it's such a clash, such a contrast to where I come from. And it makes me appreciate women in this environment.
It's free to be a woman here. It's safe. It's much safer.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. I love it for my child. She doesn't need those hang-ups. I mean, she will bring it on herself, as we do as women, whatever. But when I see these women, they're prime examples. I can age gracefully. That's what I absolutely
You can
love.
own yourself at any age.
Yes.
I see that.
Yes.
And I see that more in Vienna than I've seen anywhere else. Really. I really do. You're right.
Okay.
It's very inspiring.
I think so.
Until they get to the very grumpy age. And then they're less inspiring, but let's see. So also you started this day with a topless woman in the park, and you end this day in a sauna looking at gorgeous men.
Yes.
And what is your favorite place in Vienna? I mean, I know that we've had a lot of places that I would call my favorite. Also had a lot of memories in this part. But what are some of your real favorites?
Gosh, I have many. For example, in the winter, my favorite places are kinos, the theaters in Vienna. They're gorgeous. There are some gems here from the 50s, from the turn of the century, very well preserved. Most of them have a little bar inside, and that's also something very different than what one experiences in America. I adore them. So in the winter, that's my jam. That's what I do. Even if I go to the kino alone, I just absolutely love to immerse myself in that environment. In the summer, it's the swimming pools, the outdoor swimming pools, the Krapfenwaldbad, the Neuwald Eckebad, the Schönbrunnerbad.
Oh, so lovely.
Oh, my Lord. Gorgeous. And I feel very lucky that I'm able to experience that and to afford it, because it's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
And
the cinemas are like 10
cool.
and the swimming pool is like 5 after 5, you know, like that's great.
It's pretty affordable. So yes.
It's the simple luxuries in the city.
Yes, absolutely.
The everyday luxuries.
It makes you feel like you're on holiday even though you're in the city.
Right.
And that's what I often do sometimes when we have some time off with the kids. I say, let's be tourists in Vienna. Let's just do what the tourists do. Or let's just go have a picnic.
There's even a saying, Urlaub daheim. It's definitely that.
Possibly.
Given. So what is your relationship like with German? So are you fluent?
Am I fluent? I think I am. I have an accent. I'm reminded of that every day by my kids. They think it's hilarious. I think I sound, because my parents are from Nicaragua and my first language was Spanish. I think the Spanish comes out when I speak German, which is interesting. I don't think I sound like an American always. Somewhere like the R's, my kids are like, Mom, you're just rolling it. You're just doing it too hard. And I'm like, I can't help it. And there are just certain things that I don't hear, like the and the whatever, like schwül.
That's
when I
a
first
really hard
came,
one.
it was hot and
That's
humid,
so hard.
right? And
Tell us about it, please.
Well, schwül. I can't hear the difference between schwül, meaning humid, and schwül, meaning gay.
I think it's schwül and schwül.
Really?
No.
See?
No, I've just done it wrong. Schwül and schwül.
Or schwül and schwül?
And my Schwiegermama even looked that up once and was like, I think you are a homosexual. I think your friend is humid.
Yes. Well, I've had many funny encounters with that word. So, it's
So you're fluent with German. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. With apart from those minor little details, whatever.
And what are your favorite Austrian German words? Do you have any?
Oh, favorite words. There's lots, like Kuschelecke.
Oh,
I love that.
Kuschelecke.
I love it, what it
That's
means
so
too.
sweet.
Like this cute little corner where you can snuggle.
Eine Kuschelecke ist ein gemütlicher und entspannter Bereich, der speziell zum Entspannen, Ausruhen oder Kuscheln eingerichtet ist. Oftmals mit weichen Kissen, Decken und Möbeln ausgestattet, bietet eine Kuschelecke einen Rückzugsort, um sich wohlzufühlen und zur Ruhe zu kommen. Kuschelecken findet man sowohl in privaten Wohnräumen als auch in öffentlichen Einrichtungen wie Kindergärten oder Bibliotheken.
It's for kids.
Yeah.
But also I like the idea of being a grown-up and having your own little Kuschelecke.
Oh,
I find that
that's
nice.
true. I never thought of that one.
It's more of a phrase, I think. It's one that I've heard often, and I've only heard it in Vienna, and that's Bist du deppert?
Yeah. Now I've got to the point where I'm telling myself that on a daily basis.
It means, are you stupid? And it's just, I hear it in the tram. I hear it in certain neighborhoods. And it cracks me up. It's just funny. It's just so irreverent and it's nasty. It's a little bit vulgar. I kind of like that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sums up Vienna pretty well, I have to say.
Well, no, part of it.
And now we are asking all of the expats that we interview, as an expat, what would be your formative advice to other expats who've either just moved here, or give us your expat advice?
Oh my goodness. Okay, if you're American and you plan to move here, learn how to cook. Okay? There are no Trader Joe's here. No Whole Foods, no prepackaged cut vegetables for you. You've got to do this yourself. I learned that the first Thanksgiving that I spent here, I was like, where's the canned pumpkin? No. You go out, you get a pumpkin or a squash, you bake it, and you use that as your base. I mean, it's not rocket science. And I was mortified in the beginning because I honestly did not know how to cook.
But you're an amazing cook.
Well, I learned. And also
Really?
because I missed many things from home. Many of my mother's food, many California food, salads, just all kinds of cuisines that I thought, okay, I miss this way too much. I can't find it here. I'm just going to have to learn how to do it. So that is one. Another advice I'd say is learn the language for sure. 100%, as much as you can, because that's going to open many doors for you. It's going to prevent misunderstandings
Between schwul and schwul.
Or also, if somebody's staring at you, which there's like a certain type of Austrian that will stare.
Yes.
And I come from a place where it's, staring is rude.
Yeah, me too.
But now I've embraced it. I stare back, and sometimes when people stare, I wave. I say hello. And it happened to me the other day. Literally, there was like 3 people, and they were just looking back, and they were staring at me. They were talking. I have no idea what they were saying. It could have been good or bad.
Probably that you're just really beautiful.
I don't know. I have no idea, but I waved. And then I heard her say, oh, she waved at me. Sie hat gewinkt.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. Hi. And then we were friends. And then once we left, it was nice.
Jarring the stares.
Right?
That's perfect.
Right.
I often just smile back in a kind of unsettling way. Keep eye contact.
Yeah. But once you learn the language, you realize they're not talking bad about you. They're talking about some other thing and just staring at you. So language is key, I think, to opening many, many doors.
Diana, thank you so much. You are freezing, I can tell. Thank
I
you
am.
so much for sitting here with me in the chilliest of mornings in Vienna, in the beautiful Burggarten. Thank you, Diana.
Oh, you're
and
very
I will see you very
welcome.
soon.
I hope so.
Thanks for your pearls of wisdom.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You love Vienna too and want to learn German? Innis Vienna will get you there. Vienna's best language school offers a variety of courses and trainings at different levels, at different times, and at different intensities. All information about Innis Vienna and today's guests can be found in the show notes. And there we also explain all other German words, terms, and Viennese areas from this episode. Thanks for listening. Auf Wiederhören.